Hey dudes, it is me, your boy. Oh, ow. I just fell off my chair. Great. Good start! Hey! So I wanted to make a video where I would draft an arena and then you guys would let me know what you think about my picks. If you felt like I'd done a lot of wrong picks or if you would have done something differently. And this just gives me a chance to learn and see what other people think. So really I wanted to just do a draft and then, yeah, you guys can let me know how I got on. So before I end up taking too long, let's jump right in. So here we've got 3 classes, okay? Now, arguably 2 of these are top tier. So Warrior, I know, is probably regarded as quite difficult to play, maybe towards the bottom tier of the arena list. I am very bad on Warrior, and so I would stay away from this as far as possible. Rogue, I know, has the potential to be really good, but for me, when I play Rogue, I tend to not know when to use my face, if you know what I mean, like to attack, and I think that's where I fall short a lot of the time, so I've got a lot of learning to do on Rogue. If I'm trying to get as far as I can, then I myself would pick Mage, and I know that Mage is kind of OP and it's kind of cliche to sort of fall into that category, but for me who's trying to get as far as I can in Arena and sort of maximise my value, this is probably what I would pick. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this, and like I said, I'm going to do picks, and then you guys can let me know in the comments or whatever if you agreed with my picks or if you feel like in certain stages you would have done something different, okay? So let's see what we get on. Right, so to me, this first pick stands out really easy, and again, this is where I don't know if I'm going wrong. I think out of all these cards, Flame Waker is the easiest pick here. Target dummy, obviously non-negotiable. Animated armor probably has potential, but early on in the draft, probably not. Flame Walker is just a really good card. A lot of spells in Mage, so that's why I would pick here. Okay, so no weapons in Arena, so in Mage, sorry. So this one would probably get ruled out to begin with. Stormwind Knight is okay, but I think the good pick here is Burly Rockjaw Trog, in my opinion. Good 4-drop, 3/5s, okay, and again the spell damage will probably counter a lot of people. I think it beats the charge. We don't really know what our deck is yet, so I think Burly Rockjaw Trog is the pick here. So these cards are iffy. I know a lot of people will insta pick the Stormpike Commando. If I was playing like Druid or Hunter, then Beast Synergy would probably come into play with the Oasis. It is a okay 4-drop, but really, again, early on in the draft, I probably won't pick this because a 1/8 for 4 is pretty slow. Don't know if we're going to need to do a lot of healing just yet as well, so I'm going to just go ahead and pick the Stormpike for this pick. It's between the Oasis and the Stormpike. It's pretty close, but I think Stormpike gets picked here. Okay, counter spell, I probably wouldn't value that highly as one of the top Mage secrets. Normally I don't pick any Mage secrets, but if it's not Mirror Entity or Vaporize, then I probably won't be picking it. Again, early on, probably don't want to give up. The 2/1 Young Priestess is okay. I feel like I pick this more than other people would normally pick it. I'm debating whether it's between that and the Polymorph Boar. I'm leaning towards Polymorph Boar in all honesty. Gives us a bit of charge for 3 damage. You can probably use a minion, then use it again, which is pretty good. Gonna go for the Boar. Okay, so Baby Bodyguard with 4 health for a 5-drop probably isn't protecting that much. Again, I just talked about how secrets, I probably won't pick it. This card doesn't really do much for you, I feel, in my opinion. Pretty slow, doesn't really build any momentum on the board, doesn't develop anything, and just gives you some extra time. So I guess in some scenarios it could be okay, but I think out of these, the Lance Carrier is probably the pick. Pretty good, especially if you have a 1-drop, so hopefully we pick up some decent 1-drops. And saying that, we're not gonna pick the Stone Tusk Boar, unfortunately. Babe is gonna have to chill out for a wee bit because he's getting neglected over these 2. Between the Yeti and the Torch, both good cards. Forgotten Torch is basically just a Frostbolt without the freezing effect, and then it comes back as a Fireball, which is pretty nice. Yeti is an outstanding 4-drop though, and I don't think I can pass it up in my opinion. Difficult, very, very difficult to choose one. I mean, Forgotten Torch synergizes with our Flame Walker, but I think we have to pick the Yeti because I feel like the 2 and 4 slot is probably most important, so we're going to pick up the Yeti. Okay, so Gorilla Bot and Bluegill Warrior. I feel like it's between these two. Murloc Tiny Fin, God bless him. Look at that little face. I mean, look at that. Unfortunately, Murloc Tiny Fin is going to have to get passed up this one time. I'm sorry, Tiny Fin. Gorilla A-Bot A3 is a really good mech card. This whole Discover patter is pretty good, but unfortunately we don't have any mechs just yet. 6 cards in. This will be our 7th. Bluegill Warrior, pretty good. I don't know if I want it, to be honest. Hopefully we could go for the mech synergy later on. I really don't know. This is probably, again, where a lot of people will differ. Good removal from Bluegill, but I think Gorilla Bot is pretty good if we pick up some mechs. Pretty good 4-drop, so I'm going to go for the Gorilla Bot. Let's see. Okay, so Echo and Ooze is okay. We don't have any buffs, so it might not be as standard or not as respected in the mage class, I feel. Frost Giant, we're probably going to ping a lot as mage, so it might be considered. And then Twilight Guardian, as of yet, we have no dragons, so I'm swithering whether the Twilight Guardian gets picked. Again, this is pretty tough. I think, in this case, I probably take Frost Giant, but again, it's probably open. Pretty difficult. I guess if at least we pick Frost Giant, it gives us some late game, which I'm always sort of scared of. When I tend to draft not high enough, because I'm so scared about not having cards to play early on. So we definitely need to pick up some 2s. But in that sense, late game is pretty good. So let's go for a Frost Giant here. But again, not too sure about this one. Okay. These first 2 cards can be considered as pretty garbage. Magma Rager, a 3-drop with 1 health. I mean, you're going to have some pretty unique scenarios for this to be played, I feel. Silverback is a taunt with Beast, but Bone Guard, is it Bone Guard Lieutenant? Yep, I think he's too good to pass up, so we're probably going to pick him up. Good 2-drop, we need some 2s, so that fits in perfectly. Alright. So I've had a discussion about this recently with the guys in the. If you had watched the Hearthstone pack opening video, we actually talk about Master Jouster quite a lot. This is pretty difficult. It's probably between Master Jouster and Azure Drake, although Effigy is not a bad secret. But I think these are both good picks. It's what you want from your deck that you want to consider here, I feel, because if Master Jouster wins the joust, it's pretty fucking good. Whereas Azure Drake is pretty sick in mage deck, also gives you cycle from the card draw, which is very important. This is honestly a really difficult pick for me. I think I'm leaning towards Master Jouster, but Azure Drake is really good. We didn't pick up our Flame Torch, so Azure Drake maybe goes down a little bit, but it's still an exceptional card. I really don't know which one of these is rated higher. Difficult, very, very difficult. Okay, I'm gonna go for Master Jouster, but this has been the most difficult choice so far. I think we're gonna go Master Jouster this time. Okay, so nice. I'm probably gonna take the Boulder Fist Ogre here. We already have a Burly Rockjaw, and our 4 slot's looking pretty comfortable. 10 cards in. I think we're gonna take the Fatty. Give us a bit more late game. I mean, we have Master Jouster and Frost Giant, but Boulder Fist just rounds out our late game a little bit better. Wolf Rider is also worth considering if you have a sort of rushdown deck, but so far we have no Fireballs and we have no Pyroblasts. So let's just go for the Boulder Fist just now. Pretty standard card, pretty safe, and I think we can depend on that. I think we picked Gorilla Bot here to synergize with our other Gorilla Bot. Again, Discover gives us cycle, which is pretty important. Explosive Sheep is good clear, but really I don't know if we want to be taking that. Frost Nova good if we have a stall deck, but right now it's pretty difficult to tell if we're going to need it. I think Gorilla Bot gets picked here. Again, decent. It's an okay 4-drop, not great, but the Discover thing probably makes it a higher value over these ones. Alright, so Shield Bearer gets neglected here, I believe, so it's definitely between the Mad Scientist and this little dude here with the charged taunt. We didn't pick up Inner Secrets, so Mad Scientist loses a little bit of value, but there is a chance that more secrets come up. I mean, this will be our 13th card. The Gnome is okay, right? Charge and taunt. I think the charge is probably the best bit about it, but Really, I am not sure. This is difficult. I mean, if we knew that we were guaranteed another secret, then Mad Scientist is the pick here, I think. But we don't know that that's going to come up, and if it doesn't, then it's a pretty bad 2-drop. So I think we're going to go for the gnome. Again, this is difficult, and I would ask for, like, if we were in a call with the guys, I would let other people sort of come up with ideas here, because really I'm unsure. I think we'll go for the gnome, just because Mad Scientist, again, I don't know if we're going to pick up any secrets, and the gnome at least gives us a taunt, and at least gives us a charge, so we'll see how we get on. Right, okay, so Light Warden, non-negotiable. She doesn't exist, unfortunately. Wobbling Runts is pretty good. I don't know how highly people rate this card, probably average to above average. Little Exorcist, again, is not that great a 3-drop, but considering that you get some 2s, it all depends if you have this Death Rattle minion, and so far, judging by what I can see, we don't really have that many. Nope, you don't have a single Death Rattle. So I think it's Wobbling Runts here. God bless, what a name, Wobbling Runts. Again, Little Exorcist can be okay, but only in some scenarios. I think we'll go with this guy. Alright, nice. So, Pit Fighter, pretty solid 5-drop. Brewmaster, we'll look at him in a minute. I like Gadgetzan Jouster? The Jouster, we'll call him that, right? Dickhead. I like this card a lot more than I think other people like it. It can be really good. We don't have any 1s so far, and it would synergize with Lance Carrier. And saying that, Pit Fighter is really good. Brewmaster, do we want to brew anything back? Oh well, actually I missed the Death Rattle and Wobbling Runts, but I think that was between the last pick. Yeah, it was. Alright, so I mean, we could brew back Stormpike, we could possibly brew back Master Juicer, maybe brew back Gorilla Bot, brew back the Charge, even brew back Lance Carrier, so this should be considered equally, I feel. But in saying that, Pit Fighter, pretty solid. I'm not sure what to do here. We have 4/4s already, 2 of which we can play on curve, I feel. Gorilla Bot's maybe not that great to play on curve unless we get our Discover. I think we maybe pick the Pit Fighter here just because it's pretty solid, pretty safe. We have a lot to brew back. It's kind of hanging me back a wee bit, but I mean, we're not going to have... This guy, he wouldn't be played on curve unless we were brewing back like the Gnome or something like that. I think we pick Pit Fighter here. But it's difficult. The other 2 cards are okay. Alright, these are pretty garbage. I don't like Dragon's Breath that much, but I think I'm going to take it here. Gives us synergy with Flamewalker. These 2, Murloc, you just keep turning up, don't you, little guy? You little snuggly little buffalo, you. This guy's not getting considered, so Dragon's Breath, unfortunately, not that great a card, but it can be okay. Alright, gives us a bit of removal. Alright, so looking at the curve, we don't have nearly as many 2-drops as I would like here. We have our late game pretty much sorted, but we have no fireballs and we have no AoE clear, so we need to think carefully here. Elven Archer is okay, not great. Tiger's probably the best card out of these, but I need to be careful because I'm starting to slide into territory where I'm starting to get more late game cards than I want. We'll take the Tiger and then start to pray that some more 1/2s, 3s, and then maybe some late game Flame Strikes turn up. So let's see how we get on. Tomb Spider is pretty good. Think it gets picked over these 2 here. He's got good, again, Wiggle's pretty good. Arcane Missile synergizes with Flamewalker. Not sure what else. Probably just Flamewalker. I think Tomb Spider gets picked here though. It's pretty good. Gives us a bit more beef in our 4 slot, which is nice. And again, the cycle with the Discover is pretty sick. So we'll take him. Alright. So this is pretty difficult, because these are all decent cards. Fallen Hero. Probably good, seeing as we have not a lot of 2-drops. I mean, we're coming up for this 20 point where I want to stop and consider my deck a wee bit. Unstable Portal is great. I love Unstable Portal. And again, Flamewalker synergy. I don't know, Argent Commander though. I really don't want to pass this up because it's really good, but I mean, in terms of picking up some early game, I think we need to. Oh, this is really hard. Argent Commander is super great, right? Like, I love this card. Love it. I think we actually pick up the Fallen Hero though, just for sake of having 2-drops. I mean, so far we have 1 2-drop we can play on curve, which is really pretty bad. This is really difficult. Unstable Portal again, it's a bit RNG, but for 3 less it's a pretty outstanding card. This is extremely difficult, and I don't want to take too long on it. I think we take Fallen Hero. Again, this is something that I want you guys to sort of talk to me about. What would you do here? Because really, I'm unsure. These are all good cards. I think I'm going to take Fallen Hero just because I need 2-drops, but it's really, really close. Okay, so Echo Medivh. We don't really have enough cards that will get played. Echo Medivh's good if you have a lot of 2-drops, a lot of 3-drops maybe for late game when suddenly you can fill your hand back up. I think Kodo Rider is the only pick here. Pretty good 6-drop. It's an epic. Again, so much late game, and we only have 10 cards left, so really we want to pick up 1s, 2s and 3s. Alright, and then the Kraken turns up. Wow, okay. This is so interesting. I've actually never been in this position before where I've not had as many 2-drops. This is difficult. Kraken or Polymorph. Do we want removal versus Kraken? I think we want Kraken. Oh man. Wow. We have Dragon's Breath as removal, but it's pretty poor. Let's go Kraken. Really difficult. Gives us that more late game. Alright. It's pretty Thramor Farseer, God bless you, son. Alright, he's not getting picked. It's between Kobold and Explosive Sheep. I mean, Explosive will give us clear, but really to play that turn 2 and then ping it the turn after is really slow. Probably Kobold, although these cards are pretty garbage. Alright, Frostbolt, it's good to see you. We'll pick you. Archmage, pretty good. Well, not good. I would say it's average, but we have enough 6s. I think we pick Frostbolt here. Fireball versus Frostbolt number 2. I think it has to be Fireball, but I keep looking at this count, how many cards we've got left. I think we need to pick something that'll give us a bit more. I think you see Fireball, we pick Fireball, right? I hope that's correct here. Very difficult, but Fireball gets picked up. Ooh, Worgen versus Spellslinger. I love Worgen. I love Worgen a lot. Pretty good 1-drop. Pretty solid. Can trade with their 2-drop if they play like a 2-drop that's a 3/2. Worgen trades in. Spellslinger though fills up our 3 slot, gives us a spell to play which we can maybe even synergize again. I'm looking at Flamewaker. Tough decisions. I think it's a Spellslinger, but it's close between these two. Let's go and see how we get on. Alright, nice. So Angry Chicken, you don't exist unfortunately. We'll put a little block in front of you. Saboteur, very good 3-drop. Goblin Blast Mage though. We do have some mech synergy. Let's just count them. I think we have 2, right? 2 Gorilla Bots. Yep, just the 2 Gorilla Bots. So Goblin Blast Mage isn't too bad here. But Saboteur though, is it worth considering? If we look at our 4-drops that we play on turn 4, we've got 1, 2, maybe Tomb Spiders 3, and then maybe Gorilla Bots if we're holding another Gorilla Bot. Pretty tough. I think it's Saboteur here. Honestly, I'm not sure. This can really turn up the game though for you if you're behind, which we might find that we are because of our lack of 2-drops in this deck. Okay, let's go Saboteur. Tough though. These cards are garbage. We're going to take a Pit Fighter again. I don't think I want another Dragon's Breath. I need 2s here. Clockwork Gnome versus Flesh Eating Ghoul. We don't have any freeze minions other than well, we have Frostbolt. Icelands synergizes with Flamewalker. Other than that, doesn't do a lot for us. Probably the Flesh Eating or the Clockwork. I feel Flesh Eating's better. And doesn't have a lot of we don't have a lot of like again 2-drops. We need 2-drops to play before the Flesh Eating to make it worthwhile. Unless it gets played late game, which reduces our amount of playable turn 3s. We've got 1 turn 3, 2 turn 3, 3, maybe 4 if you count the gnome. I think it's Flesh Eating here, although this is a shame. I like Clockwork, I really do. I think it's Flesh Eating. Alright, great. Fucking Murloc Raider. Where's the other one of you that gives you and a friend? That's what I would have liked to see. Alright, I think here we pick the Leper Gnome, although, again, pretty gash cards. We've got a Murloc Raider or a Murloc Raider with a bonus. Don't think it's a Silverback. Probably the Leper Gnome. Pretty bad. Dear, dear, dear. Wow, this deck is giving me problems. Alright. I don't think it's counterspell, guys. We don't have any secrets, which makes this guy pretty bad. We can't even discover any secrets, I don't think. I think it's Colosseum Manager, as sad as it may seem. Pretty bad card. I mean, counterspell, maybe it's worth. Probably not, though. I mean, we can't pick both these, unfortunately. I think it has to be Colosseum Manager, which makes this deck pretty... Alright, so let's talk about this. So, in terms of curve, right, if we can get over the first 2 or 3 turns, the deck actually does okay, I feel. Okay. This is a deck that I would draft in and not consider it to be that great. In all honesty, we've got 1 Fireball. Card quality, Frostbolt is great, Bone Guard's great, Fallen Hero's probably good, Flamewalker's great, or good to above good. Saboteur's pretty good. Spellslinger gives us that spell. Might give us the win condition we need. I mean, I don't know if that could drop us like a Flame Strike or a Pyro, but to kind of bank on that is pretty hard because it's just a spell, and then it also gives value to the enemy, which is a shame. Fireball's obviously good. Yeti's pretty good. Gorilla Bot Synergy for discovering mechs is okay. Tomb Spider's fantastic. Pit Fighter's decent. And then our late game is pretty sick. I mean, Kodo Rider, Master Jouster, even Wobbling Runts. I don't know how good Wobbling Runts is. Average, maybe. Kraken is great, and then Frost Giant is okay. So if we can get to the late game and we draw the cards that we want, the deck does okay. But it really does struggle early on, I feel. It's my opinion. Again, what do you guys think? How do you rate this deck? If this was me, I would say this deck would be lucky to get 5 wins, maybe? It all depends if you draw the cards you need in the right order, right? I mean, if you start off the game and you draw like the Kraken and like a Tomb Spider and a Saboteur, then I don't know how well you're going to get on, especially if there's some sick decks. I mean, we don't have any AoE, so flooding decks like Hunters, Warlocks will beat us down pretty hard. And again, unless we pick up the cards we need from Spellslinger, but that's only 1 card, and even then it might be kind of meh. What do you guys think? Let me know what you thought of my deck. I wouldn't rate this as a great deck, but you know, it might do okay. I would definitely think it would get 3 wins at least, just because of cards like Kraken and things like that. What I'll do is I will go away and play this, and I will let you know at the end of the video how it actually done, or I'll come back to the end game screen with the arena rewards, and I'll show you how we got on. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Have a look at the picks that I picked. What would you have done differently? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you after the games have been played. Alright, see you later. Alright guys, so here we are in the end game screen. The deck actually got to 8 wins, which was above my expectation. I think I said 5. It's been a couple of days since I actually started this, so it was kind of fun to play this over the last couple of days and see how it got on. But it was a case of getting to the late game, hoping that we picked up some good 2s, and we did get lucky a lot of times with the Bone Guard or the Fallen Hero turning up once or twice early on in the starting hand, and it was a case of trying to control the board until we got to our late game, which was pretty heavy. And for most of our games, we done all right. I think it was 2 of our losses came down to a game of top decking at the end, so it was really close, and I was pretty pleased overall. So let's see how we got on with the rewards. Alright, no dust please, as I click it. Thanks Hearthstone, thanks. Alright, 35 gold, 155 gold, and a pack of cards. For 8 wins, I guess that's okay. We bought or sell another arena, got our pack, and then some extra shenanigans. So, yep. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really supports the channel. Other than that, if you want to subscribe, feel free. I'm going to try and get some more of these videos out like this, doing arena drafts and stuff. So, yep. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.